Town is located just east of downtown Cleveland. These few blocks host a variety of food, shopping, and more from a multitude of Asian cultures. In particular, there are prominent Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, and Japanese American populations within this neighborhood. It's easy to tell you traveled from Cleveland to Asiatown, whether it be from the signage, the beautiful street art, or the bilingual entrances for the majority of the businesses. Cleveland became a destination for Chinese immigrants to escape anti-immigration aggression on the West Coast as early as 1860. A small community formed on West 3rd Street, but in the 1920s, during urban renewal, then named Chinatown, was moved to the east side, followed by slowly being pushed further from the city center to its current location. During the mid to late 20th century, large Korean and Vietnamese communities moved into the area and therefore warranting the name change from Chinatown to Asiatown. My first stop in Asiatown was the Asia Plaza. Within this building, there were many restaurants, shops, services, an herbal pharmacy, and a grocery store. First, there was a voter registration booth hosted by Advocate Cleveland, which provided public voter registration as well as political literature and news in multiple languages. This was to provide voting access to those not fluent in English. Secondly, ETHN Housing Partners had an office within the plaza as well. This NGO helps find affordable housing, will help with some financial issues, as well as providing appliances such as printers and scanners to the community. Next, I wanted to check out the pharmacy. The pharmacy had hundreds of spices, herbs, and plants, all with medicinal and healing properties, which you're unable to find outside of Asiatown. We continued through the plaza, eventually finding the grocery store, filled with different foods from the prominent cuisines of the neighborhood. Similarly, the food was very cheap, and seeing how Asiatown is surrounded by a food desert, it's important to have cheap, healthy options for groceries. After I finished grocery shopping, my family and I walked over to our favorite restaurant in Asiatown, Superior Pho. Pho is a Vietnamese soup dish made with rice noodles, broth, usually beef, and various toppings. I hadn't been here since before COVID, and we asked the manager how they held up during the pandemic. The manager said that they were hit hard, but it's a strong community and they came together to pull through. Superior Pho is just one of the dozens of amazing restaurants within this neighborhood. My favorite part of the day trip was the art, and my favorite piece of street art was the mural by Jordan Wong, or Wong Face. The mural was titled Triumph of Heaven, Earth, and the Cosmos. Within this image, the Chinese character for you is placed in the center surrounded by loud, colorful, and even quirky Chinese cultural motifs. Wong said this piece is meant to inspire the viewer and to remind them of the brilliance of their existence. Especially with COVID increasing the prominence of Asian hate, the idea was to show the light conquering the dark. Continuing with the art, we then went to the Asian Town Center. This repurposed train station has turned into a space to either educate oneself or to deeper connection with one's culture. There were multiple martial arts studios, bakeries, a dance studio, and many art galleries all within this one building. Even the common spaces were filled with sculptures, statues, and hanging lanterns, all from local artists. And then on the second floor, there was a photo gallery with a straight view of downtown. Also on the second floor was an office for the ICHC, or the International Community Health Center. This NGO has a location in the town center as well as the aforementioned plaza. The ICHC has been one of the biggest assets during COVID, where they have offered language-inclusive and affordable medical care, especially for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. The ICHC has been giving out COVID tests as well as the vaccine. Similarly, they provide other services including mental health and dietary services. They even sponsor community events like a public Chinese healing circle. The overarching goal for this organization is to help bridge the economic and linguistic gap in the healthcare accessibility in America. The pandemic hit everyone hard, and with the intersectionality of the rising Asian hate, Asiatown was hit hard as well, with a plethora of closed businesses and empty spaces scattered throughout the neighborhood. However, With the local NGOs and the strong sense of community that has felt here, I can only see expansion and rebuilding from here.